Chief of Defense names Martiashvili, of course, SNGP core team, and advised in these special circumstances, so we can keep and show our 5 years of the substantial NATO summit. However, it was called as head of the SNGP core team relations. The great event, but we also provide financing for other countries.
And all the contributors, officers, I'm very proud of it. To have this contact with NATO. I would like to 2% of GDP is spent on defense and 20% of our budget on major defense system acquisition. Implementation of the SNGP, which has become key. Georgia has been successfully implementing, coming from allies and partners through the Georgia security sector. Governance has improved. NATO allies and partners for their intensive protecting our shared values for our joint success, which emphasizes the leverages from the occupation and cyber attacks to the influence.
Not only because we are indeed celebrating 5-year objectives and goals, training and exercises, all of this.
But I will not speak only about the history. I will tell you about the history.
As we mark the achievements of the substantial NATO-Georgia package, I'd like to thank NATO allies and partners for their intensive and ongoing support of our goals and our joint efforts for the successful execution of SNGP since 2014 Wales Summit, as it was mentioned by Mr. Ambassador. As we move forward in our ambitious reform agenda and conduct steady, gradual transformation of our defense system for the enhancement of our country's security capacity, I'm glad to note that during many years of partnership, we have built strong foundations that provide a sustainable platform for our powerful alliance. And standing by side and protecting our shared values for our joint success and our joint strength. I'd like to once again reiterate Georgia's unwavering commitment to the European and Euro-Atlantic membership aspirations, which is stated in the Georgian Constitution. With this spirit and motivation, we continue to reform and modernize our country, modernize our military, our defense forces. The main goals include increasing interoperability with NATO and eventual NATO membership, strengthening our country's defense capabilities, creating dignified social conditions for our service members and their families, and establishing an effective reserve and recruitment system.
The substantial NATO-Georgia package is an outcome, a very practical and substantial outcome of the development of NATO-Georgia relations. The great event, of course, was the Bucharest summit in 2008, where leaders took the decision and made the promise that Georgia will be a member of NATO. SNGP gives us the opportunity to work towards this goal in a very concrete, real, and practical way. And by us, I mean, of course, the community that consists of NATO member countries and of Georgia, so we are all part of it. But very concretely, this work is being done by the soldiers and civilians of the SNGP initiative teams and the core teams, and by many, many people at the Georgian Ministry of Defense and the defense staff. I want to honor their commitment and their contributions towards this work. SNGP is not a present that NATO gives to Georgia. It is a joint endeavor. It requires an enormous amount of work on the Georgian side. I want to honor and acknowledge this, and I think we all agree that this is work which deserves to be done, which is well worth it. By doing this, Georgia not only underlines its commitment towards NATO, but it also works to enhance the capabilities of its armed forces and to further enhance their interoperability with NATO forces.
Georgia is one of the closest partners of the alliance. I don't have to tell you, you know this very well. And you know very well also, because the Minister has just mentioned it, that SNGP is in fact the flagship of the defense capacity building program of NATO. So I thought that maybe I should focus primarily on three elements to pinpoint better all the effort of the refresh process that has been going on, to give you some background also from the headquarters perspective. So let me start with this. For NATO, working with partners is essential and will remain essential. In a world where instability and conflict are on the rise, multilateral cooperation is needed more than ever. The more capable and resilient we all are, the more secure we all are. And when it comes to enhancing resilience, I would like to stress that this requires not only a whole of government approach, but also a whole of society approach. And colleagues who are working on SNGP, and especially on the refreshment process, they know this very well. These are concepts that seep into the new idea of the SNGP.